Here comes the boogeyman! Ha 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 ha! Ah, the big dog! The big dog! The big fucking dog, Michael Cole! Don't have a fucking orgasm, Cole! It's just the big dog! The big dog! The amplified man! Shut the fuck up, Cole! The street lights are on and your mama's calling you home! Get the fuck out of here! The big dog! The big dog! Shut the fuck up! The amplified man's the only big dog we need to be concerned with right now. This is Amplified Q&A. My favorite video of the week where I get to talk with you guys and you guys ask me questions and things that are on your mind and I get to answer you to the best of my ability, my thoughts, my opinions, the facts that I spew back to you guys on any given situation and topic. Love this time of the week. Love Amplified Q&A. Got some questions to get to. Not going to spend a whole lot of time. Let's be honest. It's July. It's the middle of summertime. You guys got a lot to do. It's probably scorching hot wherever you are. I know I got a lot to do. It's scorching hot where I am. So I'm not going to keep you here for an hour-long video. As we get closer to fall, winter, maybe we'll bring back those hour-long videos, man. But we're trying to go about our day, man. It's summertime. I want you guys enjoying this shit. And I thank you for allowing me into your homes or on your fucking tablets or your phones or wherever the fuck you are, on your ride home or during summer school or wherever the fuck you're watching me. I thank you for allowing me to be a part of your summer. It means a lot to me, man. The big dog! The big dog! The big fucking dog! I'm sorry, man. Every time this motherfucker says that on Monday Night Raw, I want to put my head through a concrete wall. Just like my favorite for the females, man, Sasha Banks, man. Just once, I want her to come out without Michael Cole going, "It's boss time! It's boss time! It's go fuck yourself time, Michael Cole! Go fuck yourself time!" Anyway, real quick, you guys hear the Goldberg news, man. Goldberg now is calling out, for a while now, Goldberg has been kind of, you know, trying to put his name out there like he's open for a return, but it's not up to him. It's up to WWE. The same thing he was doing a few years before his last run, all the way up until the beginning of his last run, and now he's starting to do it again, and now he's actually starting to name names again. The two names that were always at the top of his list, but he's starting to call them out again, The Undertaker and Roman Reigns. And he still says he owes Brock Lesnar another one, but he's up 2-1 on Lesnar, so he's okay with that, he said. But he told, I believe it was Deadspin.com, that he's got Roman Reigns and Undertaker that are currently on his list. Then we find out from, I believe, Fox Business that Vince McMahon is thinking about bringing older, bigger names back to WWE for their new TV deals when WWE goes over the Fox in 2019 and the USA Network has its rejuvenated career sparked again in 2019 on the USA Network for Monday Night Raw. So some of the names that WWE and Vince McMahon are thinking about bringing back is Steve Borden, Sting, Hulk Hogan, and Goldberg was one of those names. So is something already being talked about between the two, or is this just Vince and WWE saying that they are going to be bringing back these names in the future, and now Goldberg is just kind of going into business on his own? That's what I believe is happening. But when Goldberg starts to actually name out names and says these people are on my list, they're next, this is usually Goldberg going into business for himself, and he's itching to come back. Goldberg wants to make that big payday again. Or paydays, I should say. And don't be surprised, guys, if by WrestleMania 35, Goldberg finds himself in a marquee matchup. Whether you want it or not, whether you like it or not, whether you like part-timers or not, it doesn't matter. Goldberg looks to be coming back in 2019 for yet another run. I'm okay with it, as long as it's done correctly, man. I was not happy at the beginning of Goldberg's last run, but by the time it was all said and done, I took a step back and I said, that's one of the best runs you're ever going to find a part-timer or any motherfucker in pro wrestling have. Goldberg had the run of a lifetime, that last run. And nobody really got hurt in the process, aside from Kevin Owens, I guess you could say. But at that time, Vince and WWE were starting to frown upon Kevin Owens for a multitude of reasons. So it wasn't just one or two things. It wasn't just Goldberg needed the strap to get it over to a Lesnar feud. Kevin Owens was not in the high graces at that point of WWE, and they felt like they made a mistake by putting that strap on Owens. So Goldberg was at the right place at the right time if your name is Goldberg. If your name is Kevin Owens, wrong place, wrong time. So anyway, guys, I'm going to shut up about that, but that's some news circulating. Goldberg coming back to WWE. That's starting to pick up steam again. And I think ironically, around Survivor Series of this year, we could hear the rumblings of Goldberg returning. Also, what else did I want to touch up on, guys? There was one other thing. Oh, yeah. My last video I made, I talked about how Extreme Rules is going to be renamed, or should be renamed, Lovable Rules. WWE Lovable Rules 2018. Who's going to get it? You guys in? You guys got the network? Are you guys pumped? Are you going to tell your friends and family that you're sitting down to watch Lovable Rules? Because this is just one big love fest. This is a bunch of rainbows, cupcakes, fresh baked brownies, fresh daisies are growing in the lawn. It's beautiful. Lovable Rules is coming. Cookie cutter matches. Roman versus Lashley. Alexa versus Nia is the only Extreme Rules match. That's going to get as extreme as a tennis match or a fucking golf contest. It's going to be extreme as fuck. Reminds me of that chess match I saw a couple of years ago. What was that? On the BBC network? The British fucking big time British network. I think it's called BBC, right? They have these two ultra fucking, I almost called them ultra nerds, but we live in a fucking different society. You can't offend anybody, so you can't call them nerds. They're ultra smart people. And they were playing chess move for move, and they would 2.5 hours before there was a winner. That was extreme as fuck! Nia versus Alexa. Shit's gonna hit the fan. I don't know. I'm in my 30s. I don't know if I gotta call a parent, the police, somebody. I mean, am I allowed to even watch something so extreme? I don't even know. Did I make the fucking age requirement? If you're under the age of 18, you better start calling somebody and seeing if you can even watch this. Because this is gonna be extreme as fuck. Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax is gonna be so fucking extreme. Blood everywhere. Body parts fucking hanging. Something to talk about for the next 20 years. Alexa versus Nia. You watch. This is going to blow the roof off of any extreme match we've ever fucking witnessed in our lifetimes. In our lifetimes. I promise you. This is going to be extreme. At Lovable Rules. The B Team versus Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy, brother versus brother. After the match, they're going to hug it out. Oh, yeah. Speaking of hugging it out, you got Daniel Bryan and Kane. They're going to be hugging it out during their match against the Bludgeon Brothers. No stipulation for that either. I like the 2 tag matches if it was done fucking more brilliant, and if you actually put some stipulations to it. Why not make that match a Boiler Room Brawl? Remember those? With Mankind and Kane and Undertaker? The Boiler Room Brawls? Well, you got Kane in there, you got the fucking Bludgeon Brothers. Make it a Boiler Room Brawl match. Get creative. It's Extreme Rules. Every match should have a stipulation. That's the whole point of Extreme Rules. Boiler Room Brawl that shit. Oh, man. I tell you. You got fucking Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy. They're lunatics, right? Let's have a cool stipulation against the B Team. Something fucking epic, man. It doesn't have to be a fucking Inferno match, but maybe Falls Count Anywhere, right? And you do some cool stuff backstage, around ringside, into the crowd. Do some fun lunatic shit. That's the whole point of Bray and Hardy. They're lunatics. Play to their strengths. You have no stipulations but 2. One is an Extreme Rules match against Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss, which again is going to be as extreme as a watermelon taking on a tangerine and let those shits blow up against each other. That's going to be extreme. And the other stipulation is from Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler. And this is a 30-minute Iron Man match. And I said in yesterday's video, I said, a 30-minute Iron Man match is not an Iron Man match. It is just a regular match that went a little longer. 30 minutes is nothing unheard of. And I saw a couple comments that are like, well, BC, there's been half an hour Iron Man matches before. There was one last year. There was a tag team Iron Man match, I believe, with the Bar and somebody else, right? So there's been a couple of 30-minute Iron matches, BC. What does that mean? That doesn't make it better. You're refreshing my memory against from something I already know, that there was 30-minute Iron Man matches, and I don't give a fuck. It proves my point. They're just 30-minute matches. An Iron Man match should be 60 minutes. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to WrestleMania 12. Shawn Michaels, Bret the Hitman Hart in the main event, 60 minutes. Went all the way to the end with no definitive winner. They had to go an extra 5 minutes, sudden death. That is when you have two of the best in the business, and you get to really see who is the best. And no matter winner or loser, they both are winners in my book because they have become Iron Men. Something to be proud of, a badge of honor. 30 minutes? And we're going to call these men Iron Men? I could go to any fucking indie show across the fucking world and see 30-minute matches left, right, and every which way to Tuesday. And I promise you, they'll be fucking epic, a lot of them. I can watch Johnny Wrestling and fucking Tommaso Ciampa just from last fucking TakeOver. Put on what? At least a half an hour match, correct? Give or take a minute? Are we sitting back and calling them Iron Men? No, we're calling that a badass, kick-ass, epic fucking contest. We're not calling them Iron Men. Let's not throw around that word to every motherfucker that competes in a match more than 25 minutes. The fuck out of here. That goes right with the participation trophy world we live in, though, right? Especially pro wrestling. Everybody deserves the championship. Everybody that goes over 25 minutes is an Iron Man! No, they're iron pussies in my book. Get the fuck out of here! You want to be an Iron Man at 60 minutes. The least, look at me when I'm talking. The very least I'll give you is 45 minutes. That can be an Iron Man match, maybe. And maybe is the key word there. Because I'll have to wake up on the real right side of the fucking bed and in a really good fucking mood and have a really nice, tall, great cup of coffee to be able to say, fine, I'll allow 40 minutes to be called an Iron Man match. Because in my book, 30 minutes is nowhere near an Iron Man match. 45 is the cutoff, and it should be 60. And for the women, 30 minutes is fine. Because the women barely get anywhere near 20 minutes usually. So to have them go 30 minutes, I think that's pretty badass. 45 would be their 60. And if you ever get the two women in there to go 60... fucking A, man. Take my money. I'm all in. I would love to see it, but it would have to be females that could go in the ring with each other. Sasha Banks versus Ember. Charlotte versus Naomi. Things like that, man. Give me that shit. And I'm invested the whole fucking hour. But for the women, I could take a half an hour. For Dolph and Seth, a half an hour and call that an Iron match, I say, fuck you, and I call bullshit. I don't care how many half an hour matches, Iron Man matches there have been in history. It shouldn't be called an Iron Man match. Bottom line, end of story, discussion closed. The Amplified Man, he has done spoken. What do you guys say we get to some questions, right? We're running our fucking mouth about every other which fucking subject in the pro wrestling world. Promise you guys I wouldn't make this a half an hour. It's going at least a fucking half an hour, right? I guess that makes me an Iron Man of YouTube. A half an hour, because I'm the big dog, Michael Cole, the big fucking dog. Ow! Whoa! Whoa! What? All right, chill out, BC. Chill out, BC. All right, we gotta reel this fucking thing in. Reel this thing in. We're going off the fucking rails here. What? I said, look at me. I said we're going off the rails. We got to get this show back on track. It's Amplified Q&A. Let's get to some of your guys' questions. I've said that 7 times, haven't I? Let's actually fucking do it. All right, we calm down? Calm down. Everybody relax. Take a fucking breath and let's calm down. Are you calm? Good. Me too. Let's start off with Kid Shaolin 95. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Kid Shaolin 95. Hey BC, I'm one of the newer fans that has joined this channel, and I'm annoyed I didn't find you sooner. It's all good, man. At least you found me now, and the Amplified Man, you, and all the other AMP unit members, we gonna kick ass from here on out, so don't you worry. Annoyed I didn't find you sooner. Nobody can touch the Amplified Man. You got that right, Kid S. Can I call you Kid S? You're damn fucking right. Nobody touches the Amplified. My question for Q&A is, do you think Sasha and Bayley can come back from this constant bickering, comedic angle creative is going with, and have them as, well, I'm butchering this, man. Constant bickering, comedic angle creative is going with them, and have something as brutal and intense as their NXT rivalry, or has that opportunity left the building already? Because week after week, they're looking more like a dysfunctional couple than rivals with history. Thanks. What he's saying here, guys, is do I think that they can get back on track and get us back invested with Bayley and Sasha again? Because WWE this past week on Raw has decided to go in a comedic angle and have them bickering now like a fucking married couple. Instead of, so we went from the brutal fucking backstabbing and turning and looked like one of them was finally going heel, and now we're in counseling and we're just bickering like a married couple and we're trying to become friends again. So he's asking, can we get back on track to the brutality of it that invested us in this shit in the first place and where it should be? Or is it already a lost cause? Did they already fuck this up? And Kid Sherilyn 95, I gotta be honest with you. They fucked this up pretty bad. This was their second opportunity. Remember, they started this feud before WrestleMania with zero payoff. There was just two Monday Night Raw matches. That was it. There was no ultimate pay-per-view payoff or WrestleMania pay, nothing. Just some Monday Night Raw matches. Then they were back together, or they just stayed out of each other's way. They kind of dropped the angle. Then all of a sudden, several weeks ago, they started it up again. So now we're like, all right, this better be a definitive ending now. And a big payoff. And so you have the fucking brawl backstage a few weeks ago with Sasha taking out Bayley, and then Sasha drives away. Then 2 weeks ago, you had Bayley turning on Sasha Banks in a really good fucking beatdown. A heel turn-like beatdown. Wasn't an official heel turn, but it was heel-like by Bayley. It was really done pretty beautifully, actually. And then you go into last week where they're in counseling, sitting right next to it, not even sitting across from each other, so there's really this, like, tension. No, they're sitting next to each other on the couch. Sasha's just got her fucking arms folded like she didn't get the last ice cream in the fucking box, so she's upset with mommy and daddy. And Bayley wants to throw her little Bayley fit because she didn't get balloons at the party. And now they're about to fucking bicker, and that's what they did over the course of 3 segments with Dr. Shithead. I mean Shelby. Just some fucking bickering. And then letters come on the bottom of the screen like Sesame Street. To be continued! Woo! Can't wait to see where this goes! Give me more of that intriguing television, because I don't know how I've been holding it together the past couple days. I need to find out what happens with Bayley and Sasha in Dr. Shithead Shelby's office. I have to find out. It is so far fucking dumb, bullshit, and stupid and nonsensical, this whole fucking feud from day number 1. I don't know where it's going. Anybody with a fucking brain and common sense in between their fucking ears, anybody who's got common sense knows Sasha Banks should have been a fucking heel a long time ago, but especially now. Because you don't have any heels on Raw. Ruby Riot's the only other good one you had, and she's fucking out. The rest of the Riot Squad aren't gonna hold their own. All you have is Alexa. For faces, you have fucking Nia Jax, Ronda Rousey, Natty, Ember, Bayley still. Sasha's better as a heel. She said she's better as a heel. Her gimmick, her character fits better as a heel. And she'll play it off beautifully. And the storyline right now calls for her to be a heel. And if you don't turn her heel, where does she go? She's stuck between the females I just told you, all the faces. Long term, they want to go with Ronda. Right now, they want to go with Nia. They still want to pump up Natty for Total Divas. And Ember Moon is their new pride and joy for rookies. Where does that leave Sasha? I'll tell you, in obscurity! Where does that leave Sasha? It leaves her on a couch in Dr. Shithead Shelby's office, doing a nonsensical fucking stupid segment. BC, Bayley's in the same fucking position, because Bayley's not half the wrestler as Sasha. Bayley's only great matches on the main roster have been with Sasha Banks. You don't want the fucking truth, but too fucking bad. That's the truth. Don't put Bayley in the same league as Sasha Banks, please. Fucking bullshit. I don't give a fuck about Bayley right now. Sasha Banks is the one with the most to lose. She's sitting on Dr. Shelby's office on his couch, bickering with Bayley, while Alexa and Nia get another huge pay-per-view spot. Fucking bullshit, man. Can they salvage it? Fucking Kid Sherilyn, 95, can they salvage it? Yeah, it has to start this Monday. To be continued at Dr. Shelby's office. Bicker for one segment, and all of a sudden Sasha just beats the fuck out of Bayley all over Dr. Shithead's office. Through a fucking window, through a fucking desk, into his fucking secretary's office. Then, that type of beatdown, I'm reinvested. Now I need to see the ultimate payoff. Otherwise, where the fuck is this going? I don't even think WWE knows. This is all just filler for them. Why they promote their Total Divas fucking storyline. Alexa and Nia. And we'll throw Natty in there at times. Right? Make it a Total Divas thing. And as far as the real wrestler, well, we'll put Sasha in... hey, she's friends with Bayley, right? Let's just drag that out through all of 2018. That'll be Sasha's whole year-long feud. We'll stuff her in the back burner. Fuck out of here. Who knows if it's salvageable or not, to be honest with you. Answer. Hey, BC. These are all from YouTube, by the way, I believe. Answer. Hey, BC. Longtime fan here. For Q&A, I was wondering if you saw the match. Thank you, by the way, Answer. Thank you. Longtime fan. For Q&A, I was wondering if you saw the match Sasha versus Ruby Riott. The triple threat between them and Ember Moon in the gauntlet match. I love the chemistry between Sasha and Ruby. Thought Ruby shined more in that match than in the match with Charlotte. Your thoughts? Ruby Riott is a fucking gem. She's a diamond. I told you guys that. If you watch these videos minute by minute, not just skip through them, you'll know what I think about Ruby Riott. You know what I think about Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks will go in there and make a potato look good. If Sasha Banks is wrestling a potato, that potato is about to have a fucking... who's the idiot that gives out stars? Dave Meltzer. He's about to have a Dave Meltzer unprecedented 9 stars. A potato in Sasha. That's how good Sasha Banks is. But Ruby Riott is one of those ones that people sleep on. Ruby Riott is a good wrestler, and she can put on good and even at times great matches, and that's just at the start of her main roster career. You put her down a year or two down the line if she can stay injury-free, because she just picked up an injury. She'll be out 6 to 8 weeks, unfortunately. But if she could keep those injuries to a minimum, man, in a year or two, you're going to start to see the best of Ruby Riott, because we ain't even seeing that yet. So Sasha versus Ruby, absolutely take my money. That match with Ruby versus Charlotte at the pay-per-view, was that Fastlane, I believe? But they had their pay-per-view match before that match even took place. Amplified Booking and Beyond. I told you guys that was the sleeper match. They ended up putting on the match, and I was right, wasn't I? Charlotte versus Ruby was one of the best matches of that night. So yeah, Ruby Riott's a fucking gem. When she comes back 6 to 8 weeks, you break her up with this Riott squad. You let fucking Sarah, fucking Logan and Liv Morgan, you let them do whatever they need to do, but you let Ruby Riott shine, man, because she deserves some spotlight. And in a division on Raw that doesn't have a lot of heels for those women, Ruby Riott needs to be one of your top ones. Right up there with Sasha Banks, who should be with her. Not peddling around in the 4th, 5th spot of the faces on the women's roster on Raw. That's bullshit. So yeah, fucking Ruby Riott's a gem, man. When she comes back, all you guys who've been sleeping on her, take another look. Ruby Riott's got the goods. Kuwayne, I want to say. Kuwayne, hey BC, what do you think of the idea of a women's tag team championship? Becky Lynch recently had an interview where she said she had been pitching this idea for a year or two. She wishes for the women's tag titles to be for Raw, SmackDown, and NXT as a cross-branded title. Do you think this is a good idea? P.S. There are 25 women, including Zelina Vega, on the main roster. Not sure on NXT numbers, but that is a large amount. So, before I get to that, Coane, there was another question by Derek Davis as well over on YouTube, who also said, hey, BC, what do you think about tag team championships for the women? Would you have it on both shows, Raw and SmackDown, or just one? So, I touched up on this on last week's AMP Q&A about women's tag titles, but I'll gladly reiterate it and go in a little more in detail. I absolutely would like to see women's tag team championships. No other championship, like that whole European title tournament they got going on with Triple H and all them and all the independents. I don't care about that at all. I hate tournaments, first of all, and that's way too many belts. The men have too many. The women have one for Raw, one for SmackDown, and there's an abundance of talent coming in for the women, especially down in NXT, waiting to come up. And instead of playing hot potato with the strap, I want to see 3 to 4 champions a year tops for each brand for the women. There should never be more than 3 or 4 champions in a calendar year for a championship title, ever. So that doesn't leave a whole lot of women with championship straps or even opportunity. So I think the women's tag team championships would make sense. And if this is the first time I'm actually going to say this, I agree with Becky. Let's make it multi-branded. So you have one tag straps, not just SmackDown, not just Raw. It's one unified. And they are defended on Raw, and they are defended on SmackDown. And even once in a while, they can also be defended down in NXT. I think that's a brilliant idea. It's fun, it's intriguing, it's innovative. Let's fucking book that shit, Vince and Triple H. I'm down with that shit, man. Book that. That's a cool way to do the Women's Tag Team Championships. So yeah, I'll shut up about that. That's definitely good. Emma, hey BC, for AMP Q&A, I was wondering what's the deal with Paul Ellering and why he hasn't been on TV since the debut of AOP. Well, Emma, if you saw AOP's debut on Raw, they pretty much stopped Paul Ellering at the rampway and they said you're no longer needed. Paul Ellering was fired. He was dismissed on the very first debut for AOP on Monday Night Raw. So that was the storyline. He was fired. He was dismissed. In reality, he just went back to Orlando. He lives down in the Florida area. He wanted to help out in WWE, come back for another run. The perfect fit was there with AOP. And once they graduated to the main roster, it was never in Paul Ellering's mindset that he was going to travel for WWE. So this was Paul Ellering's 100% full decision. He did not want to travel with WWE's main roster. That's really fucking excruciating, that travel schedule. Paul Ellering is an older gentleman. He knew he had life good down there in NXT. Don't be surprised if you see Paul Ellering back with a little stable. Not just 1 or 2 people down there, but a stable down in NXT, managing them. Because Paul Ellering is not done in NXT. But he is going to be staying down there in NXT. He does not want to travel with the main roster. That's the deal with Paul Ellering. And AOP is going off on their own, Emma. Hopefully that answers that. Tori, hey BC, do you think it would be good for either women's division on SmackDown or Raw to have a corporate women's champion? What I mean is basically the female version of Seth Rollins when he was with the Authority. I absolutely think that makes sense, especially if you're going to put the strap on somebody like Alexa Bliss for so long, and she's not even going to defend it that much. You might as well really drive in that real heel heat. Heat that we really give a shit about, right? And to do that, you need something more epic than just she's not defending the title. She's showing up every now and again on commentary to make everyone remember she's the champion, but she's never defending it, because that's what happened for 4 to 5 months. Around October of last year, Alexa Bliss was never defending it. But if she was with a little stable, like an Authority stable, now we really hate her, right? Because not only is she not defending it, but we also hate her because she's with the bad guys. She's with the villains. She's with the Authority. And that adds an extra layer of heat. And when you have a champion with the Authority, that means that the face that's going to eventually win that title, they're going to get an even bigger reception, a bigger pop. It's going to be even a bigger epic moment. Because the deck is stacked even more against that face now. Because the evil villains have all the gold. You know what I mean? It's like when your boss has all the fucking chips on his desk. You don't get that extra raise unless he fucking pushes that button. You don't get that extra day off or get to leave early when you need to unless he allows it, right? The authority holds all the chips. When people see that, when the audience sees that, that makes us want to hate you even more. And Alexa Bliss with that gold, or a heel Nia Jax with the gold, with the authority, or Ronda Rousey turning heel with the strap, or turning heel to get the strap. The fucking heel heat Ronda would have just for turning heel, but now she's got the gold and she's with the authority. I used to love those authority champions, so I definitely think the women, it's time, once we get in a reestablished authority, because there isn't one right now, right? But once you get a Triple H and a Stephanie McMahon back, I'm all in seeing a women's corporate champion. Corporate champion just being another phrase for evil, dastardly, heel, authority champion. I think that would be badass. But nothing we're holding our breath on, right? I mean, it's not necessarily needed. It would just be another cool layer to the way that a heel gets heat. Because I think we're in a day in wrestling now where heels are trying to be innovative on how to get heat. Or some anyway. Others have just given up and not even being innovative. They're just going out there and being regular heels and it's not really working. Others are trying hard because they know it's a different age in wrestling. It's a lot harder to be a heel these days. Because kayfabe is all but fucking gone. Which is a bullshit in its own right. I'm going to move on here. Abhishek. BC, one question for Q&A. Hope this makes it, as my last two questions weren't in Q&A. Sorry, Abhishek. Not every question can make it, man. I only got a limited time here, and I got a plethora of questions to get to, so I apologize, but I'm glad I can get to this one. Do you think that WWE is pushing only blondes and hot girls over people like Naomi and Ember Moon just to promote Total Divas and put pretty faces as their representatives of the women's revolution? Much love and respect. First of all, I will say this. As far as just pushing blondes and pretty faces instead of Naomi and Ember Moon, I don't know what your version of a pretty face is, but to me, Ember Moon and Naomi, those are pretty faces. So, a lot prettier than a lot of these fucking blondes they want to parade around me. So, back to the question, I just wanted to address that first, man. Ember Moon is a beautiful fucking girl. Naomi is a beautiful fucking woman. But do I think that WWE is pushing these blondes and these Total Divas agendas on us? Absolutely they are. That's fucking obvious. The whole thing with Natty winning the championship, that was a Total Divas agenda. Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss and the flip-flop in between the two, that is a Total Divas agenda. Carmella was a Total Divas agenda. I can go on and on and on. And we always knew Vince McMahon loves his blondes. From way back in the day with Alundra Blaze, into Trish Stratus, into Charlotte, into Carmella, into Alexa Bliss. Those will always be your champions for the long term because Vince loves his blondes, man. And it's bullshit. It should be the Sashas. It should be the Naomis. Ember Moon should have her time in a year, year and a half. But as long as Vince is kicking, man, he loves those blondes. And this Total Divas has a threshold, a grip on the whole entire professional wrestling world. There are not many things more poisonous to the pro wrestling world than Total Divas. I cannot wait for the day that Total Divas is out of here. Total Divas, honestly, is killing pro wrestling from within, man. It's one of the main reasons. It's absolute bullshit. Oh, where do I want to go? Guys, I'm going to get to this. Has already been going really long. I said not an hour-long video. I'm going pretty long on this. So I'm going to get to some Twitter questions now. I'm going to leave YouTube questions, head over to a couple of Twitter ones. Aki over on Twitter. What movie or TV show made you want to be an actor or director, BC? Good question, Aki. There was a few, man. Dazed and Confused, my favorite movie, obviously. Dazed and Confused was one movie that I watched it and I was like, I want to do that for a living. The Breakfast Club is another one. E.T., which is an old classic. Extraterrestrial. It was just called E.T. You know, those fucking classics, man. Those are the movies that I really fucking loved back in the day. And as far as just really made me want to be an actor, TV show-wise, I would have to say shows like The Sopranos made me want to be an actor. because it was the first time that I really took a step back and said, you know what, like, these people are brilliant. They are, for an hour every week, they are suspending the reality of millions of people around the world. And for that 1 hour, we are invested in them. Their performances are so fucking great and epic that we forgot about what's happening in our world. We are invested in this whole story. That's how good they are. So that's what made me, and then you see how David Chase would direct, and the directors underneath David Chase that would direct a lot of those episodes. And it's the same for Dazed and Confused. You see the camera angles, you set up the shots, you start to add on segments and storylines within the story. And before you know it, this whole fucking story develops in your head. This whole movie appears in your head. And the only thing you could do, you feel so passionate about it, you need to put this thing on film. You need the world to see your vision. Sorry if I got too amplified up on that, Aki, but, you know, there's a lot of movies and TV shows that make me step back, even to this day. Make me step back and say, I am so damn glad I get to act for a living, or I get to direct for a living, that I get to do this. Even creating this channel and getting to create these videos and be an amplified version of myself, an amplified character of myself. It's so fucking special, man. And that's why I always tell everybody, man, if there's something you're passionate about, no matter what the fuck it is, learn how to do it and do it fucking well, my friend. Kick some ass, make some money doing it, and have a great fucking life. Because that's what I'm doing with the acting and directing, and every day is a new experience. And again, it's movies like Dazed and Confused and The Breakfast Club and shows like The Sopranos that really fucking elevate me to want to do this every morning and elevate my work ethic. Every day is something new, something challenging, something fun, something innovative. And every day I'm ready for the fucking challenge, man. So those are just some projects that definitely got me excited to do what I'm doing today. Gino, BC, do you think a stipulation needs to be added to AJ Styles versus Rusev? If so, what stipulation would you choose? I definitely do. I absolutely do. It's called Extreme Rules. Let's get extreme! This pay-per-view is not for regulation matches and bullshit. Rusev versus AJ Styles. Put him there in a ladder match, man. I know he just saw Money in the Bank, but fuck it. Put a fucking ladder match in there. And I would have it a dual fucking sided ladder match where you need to do two things. First, there's a phenomenal flag hanging above. So you got the phenomenal flag, and you have Rusev Day's flag hanging above. So hanging high above the ring, you have a Phenomenal One flag, and you have a Rusev Day flag, and in the middle, you have the championship. To win this match, you first have to retrieve your flag. Then you have to go back up into the middle of the fucking ring on a separate ladder, or you could use the same one, and you have to retrieve the championship. But you cannot win this match unless you retrieve both your flag and the championship. You could have a lot of fun with that. Rusev retrieves his Rusev Day flag before AJ Styles retrieves his flag. He's halfway there. He just has to go up to get the title. But maybe AJ Styles finishes off the match by A, retrieving his flag, and B, also getting the championship. So just when you thought Rusev Day had it all, he ends up losing. Or vice versa. You could do so much cool shit. But that's just one idea. That's just one idea I just came up with. Gino. Just after I read that question, I didn't read this question beforehand, I just read it and that just came to my mind. And you're telling me WWE Creative can't get somewhat creative and come up with anything? Not even a no DQ match? Something more! Absolute bullshit. But yeah, I definitely, Gino, would put something with them too. I would put something with every match on that card. It's called Extreme Rules. At least make it, I don't know, extreme? Or is it seriously WWE Lovable Rules 2018? Christos, BC, for Amplified Q&A. How many subscribers do you have right now? Thousands. That's how many. Thousands. And I thank every single one of you. Jesse, BC, if you could pick a super tag team, who would it be? Fucking A, man. A super tag team? That's easy. Undertaker and Braun Strowman. That's the super tag team I would pick. If you look at Braun Strowman, he won the tag straps with a 10-year-old 4th grader on his fucking back like a fucking backpack, right? Didn't even need to use this little 10-year-old kid, thankfully. Although I would want to see him go in there and get his fucking head knocked off for a fucking moment or two. Don't worry, it'd be like Humpty Dumpty. We'll pick his head up, we'll put it back, we'll tap him on the head, and we'll give him a little pat on the ass, and he'll go back to 4th grade with a smile on his face. But if he's gonna be in the match, I want to see his Nicholas take a few fucking bumps. Earn your stripes, kid. But Braun Strowman wins a fucking tag straps with a kid as a backpack. Just imagine what him and Undertaker could do. That would be a serious, legit threat to every tag team that's ever walked the face of the fucking planet. Undertaker and Braun Strowman, there's no entity on the world that can take them out. But also other tag teams, nothing near Braun Strowman and Undertaker, but other tag teams that would interest me, Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins as a tag team, that would be fun and innovative. Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre as a tag team, that's pretty fucking dynamite. So, yeah, but as far as super tag team, Undertaker, Braun Strowman. How about you? Jesse, what would you fucking have as a super, or anybody out there in the AMP unit? If you picked a super tag team, who would it be? Put it down below. I'm shutting the fuck up, man. I've been hooting, I've been hollering. I haven't even fucking had my 4th coffee today. I've wanted it the past hour and a half. Decided to do this video first. A lot of you are probably thinking the last thing I need right now is more caffeine, but the fuck that shit. I'm having that motherfucking caffeine. I'm hitting some cardio along the East River. I'm knocking a few motherfuckers out who get in my fucking way. And I will be with you guys for a bonus video tomorrow, hopefully. So be on the lookout for that. For now, you know what it is. It's coffees and it's ass whoopings. And I'm the Amplified Man, the big dog. And I'm fucking out. Check you later. Ah!